fantasy football.
It's my quarterback. If you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
How's your fantasy team looking this year?
I want $1 million.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hi, this is Mary Mack,
And I'm Chet Harmston,
and you are listening to my Fantasy Wife podcast.
here on the, iTunes.
Yep.
My Fantasy Wife Podcast.
Style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Blair.
I watched 40 minutes of Space Jam this weekend. It's 40 minutes of my life. I'm not going to get back.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Gary.
They had already announced he was leaving. He
Well-
just didn't want to wait out the 30. You know, when you quit a job, you got to give them 30 days or whatever. He's
2 weeks. You've never had a real job, have you?
No.
He is the man in the fantasy world.
Drew.
You're not a Peyton Manning fan.
I'm not a Manning fan.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Lewis.
You love Burger King.
Yeah, I like Burger King.
Yeah.
Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
You're listening to My Fantasy Wife Podcast. www.myfantasywife.com.
Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife, comedian Blair Postman.
Hey, Blair.
Hey, I'm joined by my husband and without an appendix and Sportsnet expert, Gary Hayes.
Hey, Gary.
Hi.
And also on board, Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian and pet nurse Drew Harrison.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, and rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hey, Drew.
To never miss our weekly episodes and extras, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fan Wife, and support the podcast by liking and rating us in iTunes. Miss any of that? Then go to our website, myfantasywife.com, with links to everything. Gary,
Yes.
tell us about this week's sponsor.
Sure thing, Blair. This week's sponsor is Podhive. Podhive.com matches small to mid-sized podcasts and advertisers. Podcasts get matched with advertisers who might otherwise miss them. Advertisers get heard by listeners of cool podcasts who would be their perfect customers. It's an audio sponsorship love connection. So go to podhive.com for more information. Blair,
Yes?
that's podhive.com.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wow, you did that in a very professional manner.
Yes.
I think when they took your appendix out, they took your need to pun.
No.
Oh, okay.
We have so much of the song left over.
Oh.
Not that much.
No, I mean, after you get done.
Ooh.
All right, guys. All right. Very nice to see you. How you doing, Drew?
I'm good.
All right. Wonderful.
So what happened to Gary?
Gary had his appendix removed.
Uh-huh.
A surprised appendectomy. I don't think they're.
Are most of them surprises?
I think most of them are surprises.
Right.
There's
Surprised the crap out of me.
Seldom are they an elective surgery.
I
to
scheduled
just-
mine for October 2019.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful. You
What
know,
do you mean, like if a lady gets like a hysterectomy or something?
maybe
Like, she gets
just
that-
throw that in.
dig that out too.
Maybe
I
lose
didn't
a-
even consider having one
Is
of
that
those.
part of the package? You can check like for the extras, like
Yeah.
your PT's grill ordering a
Listen,
Right.
while you're in there, could you remove my uterus?
Well, wow, that would have been a surprise. A
Yeah.
little message from the doctor in the middle of
Right.
the surgery. No, we went to the emergency room right after
think-
work for me.
I think Lewis will appreciate this. I originally thought I was food poisoned by Waffle House.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you have from Waffle House?
I had.
Hold on, you don't drink no more.
No.
What are you doing at Waffle House then?
Listen, having breakfast, strangely
yeah,
enough.
he works on
Voluntarily.
Carolina Beach Road and Shipyard.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Well, it just goes to show, habits are hard to break.
The
That's
thing,
right.
the thing is, I only have 30 minutes for breakfast, and so
or lunch. It was like your lunch, but it was 8 in
it's
the
the
morning.
only place I can go and actually sit down where I can get food and get back in time.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, I had they have a hash brown basket now that has like hash browns and eggs and bacon and cheese all mixed up in a bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
Their low carb version full of hash browns. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I always get there, and it's good. But when I left, my stomach started hurting immediately, and I thought, oh God, because I've never had any problem with the food there, but it has kind of a bad reputation.
Right. Right. Of course.
Plus, this is the branch on Carolina Beach Road, which
Right.
Yeah.
So I figured
It's
that's
nothing
what it
but
was.
like truckers and
Yeah,
know.
and so I got off at about 1:30, and I went home, and I laid down. I just couldn't get comfortable. And so at some point, I turned over on my stomach. At about 3 o'clock, I'm shifting around on my stomach. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like dropped an elephant on my stomach. I was just dying.
Oh, wow.
And it was right in the middle, so I wasn't thinking appendicitis. I was just
Except
thinking...
I said over and over again, it's probably appendicitis.
Yeah,
Did you try to poop at that moment?
I couldn't stand up.
Oh,
so
okay.
I basically used the rail to crawl downstairs and crawled out to the car, and I somehow managed to drive the 3 blocks or so to the hospital, which we fortunately live very near. And I got a lot of attitude from the receptionist. I didn't tell you this. I mean, it took me 20 minutes to walk from the car to the desk, which is about 100 yards. I get in there, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Were you like standing fully up? Or
No, I bent over. I was holding on to her desk, and I said, "I don't know. There's something really wrong." She goes, and just looked at me, like I'm making it up.
Like you fixed
pain pill searching.
Well, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you hit some kind of profile with her.
I
some kind of
guess.
profile. And pain pill searching is very likely at that particular ER.
I guess.
I think
so. Anyway, once the doctor saw me, she's like, "Yeah, he can come back," and they had to do a CAT scan. But if you ever had a CAT scan, they make you drink these ridiculous gallons of primer.
Oh, yeah,
The
it's
barium.
awful.
Yeah, well, and so I drink the first one, and we wait an hour for it to go down. It's a gallon. You got to understand, I have not had a drop of anything. I'm in agony, and I do not want to drink anything. They made me drink a gallon of this nasty stuff. And then they take me all the way back, start the CAT scan. They stop halfway through. Oh, it didn't diffuse properly. We need you to drink another gallon.
Oh, my God.
So they take me back to the... Meanwhile, if my appendix bursts during this 3-hour, double-gallon tasting process, I die, potentially. So I'm in a hurry for them to, figure it out. And so I go back, drink another one, wait another hour, come back, and they're like, "Yeah, it's your appendix." So they left me... They couldn't do the surgery at the hospital I was because they don't do surgery there. So they had to take me by ambulance from there to 17th Street. And... I got in the ambulance at that place at about 9:30,
Do you guys feel like you're getting the whole experience?
I like it.
It's boring. I'll stop.
No, go ahead.
And so I left there at about 9:30, and I was in surgery, having surgery in 45 minutes, including the drive.
Wow, so is that serious?
The last thing I remember,
Yeah, they said it was.
Yeah,
looked very
they
bad.
rolled me in the door, and they said, "This is your anesthesiologist." He's like, "Doctor, somebody or something." I said, "Hey, nice to meet you." He goes, "Could you sign this?" And I sign it, and then I don't remember one thing. They
Then he puts a cloth over your face?
literally were standing behind me, ready to put it in my IV the second I signed the thing, and they never told me we're gonna.
They let me
there
say
was
hello
no
to
counting
you.
back from 10. There was no.
They brought me back to say hello to you.
Yeah, she followed the ambulance, and by the time she gets in there, I'm already in surgery. And so when I
Well,
wake
you were
up,
they were going down the hallway to
I wake up, I'm so confused because I have no knowledge that they've put me out yet or that I've had the surgery because they didn't tell me. And I'm like, "Oh, are we going to do this soon? It really hurts." And it hurts because we just cut 3 holes in your stomach.
Yeah, including a new belly button.
Yes, right.
New belly button.
So you have 3 holes there now.
Yes. Well, 4 if you count the original belly button.
Right.
Which didn't go all the way through like these do, so I don't know.
Right.
Is that why you're wearing shorts today?
Yes, I can't.
Can't deal.
You can't wear pants?
Waistline, these are very loose shorts.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any jeans that are super loose.
So this is like, I don't know where it would be, but it's like in your pelvic area, kind of, sort of?
Like your abdomen.
It's weirdly,
Like
it's
the
about
low?
here on the right-hand side, like low, but the holes are...
Drew, would you bring up a picture of the game?
And show it to our listeners.
The game, what's the game?
Operation.
Operation,
Yeah,
please.
that's what we need.
Okay, thank you.
But the hole is like belly button, directly below the belly button, and then to the left. So they did it laparoscopically. They took the long tools through these 3 holes from that side and went all the way across this side inside me to cut it out.
All right. We
So
do
you're a
have
new
a
man.
we do
Fascinating,
have a, we do
yeah.
have a guest eventually on the
I
show
know.
today. But
Well, you asked.
well, wow. I mean, wow. I feel like I'm in the waiting room with the phone.
See if I give you any more of my pain pills.
The appendix is not part of operation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Take out wrenched ankle, but your appendix burst, you're just fucked.
They got the bread basket.
It's probably in the breadbasket.
Have you had your bread basket removed, Lewis?
I heard it one time during a football game.
What about your funny bone? Is the funny bone?
Yes, the
that's-
funny
yeah.
bone's part of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I've had my Charlie horse removed.
yeah. If I touch Gary the wrong way, he makes that bzzz
His
sound.
his nose lights up.
His nose lights
The
up.
best part was they didn't keep me. I was out of the hospital
Noon and
14 hours after the surgery. 13 hours after the surgery. And Blair's driving me home, and I'm still, like, bleeding. You know, like, it's fresh. And she forgets that I've just had the surgery and hits the first speed bump in our thing at about 45 miles an hour.
Hit the speed bump a little hard. A little hard. All right, guys.
Yeah.
That is Gary. This is the first time we've really been out of the house since
Yes.
then, so glad
Since
you can
Wednesday.
make it. And I've been making him sandwiches and stuff.
What's your go-to sandwich?
It's very bland for Gary right now. We're just like turkey on bread, really. But I did buy groceries and use them and assemble them. I wouldn't say I cooked.
Assembled them?
Yeah, because like I wasn't cooking really. Like I melted some cheese in the microwave.
Well, now the first day
Blair, do
you
you
melted
not know
cheese
how
in
to-
the eggs.
All right.
The second day you just placed the cheese on the eggs and
We-
it kind of had to
I
melt
did mix
later.
it up. Okay,
Blair, do you not know how to cook?
I used to know how to cook, and then I married Gary.
I'm
and
sorry.
then I pushed that information.
When did you know how to cook?
I made lasagna and stuff,
What's the end stuff?
like other stuff made with pasta.
How many meals have you ever made me before I got sick this time?
Oh, pasta.
I would
Just
say
pasta.
2.
No, pasta once a week.
I would say
2 meals.
Pasta with sausage once a week.
Lasagna and that pasta thing.
Yeah. 2 different meals, but more than one time.
And the
each.
the pasta thing, to be honest, only started this year. So
Okay. All right.
the
we have
first
got
10
to-
years it was
guys,
lasagna.
we have got to move on.
All right.
This is. I mean, I rarely do.
Rarely do our listeners get a window into my personal life like this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're right. They're peering in our windows all the time.
That's right. We're very interested.
Yeah.
Rarely do we have that long an opening. I think we got to get to it. But first of all, guys,
We don't even have curtains, really.
it's episode 109, and our guest today is comedian from Last Comic Standing, Lachlan Patterson, everybody. Woo! And next week, episode 110, Janelle James. Woo! And then episode 111, we're going to have, there's going to be a bunch of locals.
What's an amalgam?
Amalgam.
Oh.
An amalgam of Wilmington
Oh, that is
headliners, and we're going to have them fight each other.
Oh,
So it's going to be Locals Week, and Mr. Bishop is going to be headlining a night, and Drew's going to be co-headlining a night. And I haven't figured it out yet, Gary, but somehow we're going to make them fight each other in some kind of bracket. I don't know how it's going to work, but that's going to be our episode 111. And frankly, we can't really talk about it in front of you guys because you're going to be guests for part of that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Lachlan, is he Irish?
Keep us in the
He's
dark.
from Canada.
Canadian.
So I think he has. I think that is actually of Scottish descent, but we
Okay.
can ask him
All right.
after we call Mr. Wills Maxwell to do.
I thought we were in a hurry. We're calling Wills?
Well, yeah, we're calling Wills. You didn't like it the day he didn't have anything for
I
us.
don't
We're
like
calling
anything.
Wills Max. I know. Really, that's really what it is. Can you hold this for? Can you? Is it too heavy to hold?
No.
10 pounds or less. Let's see. Let's see if he answers.
Oh, blood squirting on me. Gary, put it down.
Like, yeah.
Your stitches broke.
It's kind of like that Monty Python. If he doesn't answer.
Hello?
Oh, hey, everybody.
What were you saying, Blair?
What was that, Blair?
Hey, everyone. It's our ombudsman, Wills Maxwell. Hey, Wills.
Hey.
Hey.
As I answered, did I catch you talking about how I wasn't going to?
I want to know what you were going to do to him if you didn't answer.
Why I oughta. Lots of vague, like, nothing I can follow through with in any way.
All
Hey,
That was awkward.
yeah, hey, listeners. This is the part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes we made last week to make room for the mistakes we're going to make this week. And for that, we go to our ombudsman, Mr. Wills Maxwell. Let's give him a round of applause, guys.
Yay.
Yay. Hey, Wills.
Next week we'll go over trash talking someone and picking up the phone with you.
I knew you would answer.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so very light this week on the fact checking.
Uh-huh.
Small victory for you, Blair.
Uh-huh.
As we discussed the songs from The Last Dragon that were nominated for awards.
Oh.
And I think this might be the third and last week in a row we discussed The Last Dragon. We'll see. This has gone on pretty long.
Has.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Then we'll discuss it again.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch it. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm down for that. But yeah, we talked about how the Golden Globe Original Song nominee, and it's just, in contrast to the 2 worst original song nominees that got at the Razzies, was Rhythm of the Night, and you immediately started singing the song that you thought was Rhythm of the Night.
Yes.
And then we didn't acknowledge this in the episode, but Mr. Bishop started playing it later on, and it was, in fact, the same song. That
Oh.
No.
Gonna be
So, yeah.
the rhythm of
No,
the night.
no,
Dum,
no.
ba, ba, ba,
I will
ba,
recheck
ba.
that and get back to you next week.
Okay. All right, Mr. Axel. I believe you.
And then,
And
so-
I believe in you.
Oh,
Except when it comes to answering the phone.
But if you don't answer that
phone,
gosh darn phone, no one's gonna believe in you because you're not gonna exist anymore.
I still believe in
Do
you.
you
kid.
understand that?
I'm
Right.
a multifaceted person. All right, so that's one. Let's just assume I was right about that, and then move on to the next thing.
Okay, so moving on, I would be remiss if I did not mention that I was incorrect in my assessment that Coach Keats would stay for at least one more year with the sophomores.
Huh.
At
Nice
UN
call.
At UNC Wilmington.
Oh, did he leave?
He has
Yes.
already accepted a position immediately after losing in the tournament, got a job at NC State.
Yeah.
For like 10 times as much money.
Wow.
Yeah, and so and what do we call that? He left for that pizza shoe money.
Yeah.
For that pizza shoe money, he'll be making $2 million, a little over $2 million a year at NC State.
And what was he
Nice.
making at UNCW?
Like $500,000,
I
right?
honestly don't know.
He was
Are you-
making
are you-
half a million.
Are you counting like with the
I think
cleaning
it's what- I
service or
know
without the
$500,000
cleaning
is what we were
service?
paying Buzz Peterson, and I don't know what it was for Coach Keats. So $500,000 sounds right.
I heard that on the radio. I don't know if it's true.
Okay. Well, that sounds right. I will look it up next week, but that sounds about right to me.
Keats is including $300,000 a year.
Nice.
I'm sorry. What was that?
He was making $325,000 per season.
Yeah,
at
so
UNCW.
it's not quite 10 times as much, but it's getting pretty close.
Actually, they gave him
no,
$2
that's-
million a year and the rights to Ode on a Grecian Urn.
They don't own the right. Nobody owns the right to that.
Keats.
No, it's in the public domain. It's a different Keats.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
entirely different Keats.
I thought it was the same guy.
But that was a classy segue. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a classy way to go off track.
I'm
that
dripping
time.
class today.
He is dripping class.
It's class, not pus.
Ew, gross. That's a reference to his appendectomy,
Yes.
Wills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh, you want me to tell you the story? of
no,
having
please
to-
no. Please no.
So the last thing I had for you guys was last week we talked about, you brought up that pizza shoe money, those pizza shoes. I looked into how they work because we
Yeah.
had questions on how they work.
Yeah.
They are not at all convenient. They are not at all convenient.
You like what do you got to do?
First, you have to have the Pizza Hut app on your phone.
Okay.
And then you have to go into the Pizza Hut app and order and set up what you want your normal order to be.
Okay.
And then from there, while you're wearing the shoes, you push the button on the tongue twice, and that sends an alert back to your phone.
Uh-huh.
So then you go to your phone to confirm that it's actually meant to order pizzas from your shoes.
Right.
So you could just use your phone.
Right. Wow, that is
That's-
not especially convenient.
Yeah. Well, the first computer took up the space of an entire house.
Right. So
But we didn't quit. We just worked on it.
Right. Good point, Gary.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we'll refine the shoe technology.
We'll
from there.
refine the shoe.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's the
so
last
we're
thing I
going to
had for
talk about this a little bit later, but text me if you have any ideas of who deserves pizza shoes, because they're only going to make 64 of them.
Gotcha.
All
All
right.
right, we'll do.
All right. Thank you, Wills.
Thank you.
You're very special and very much appreciated.
Bye, Wills. Yeah, I hope I get better too.
All right, bye, Wills.
Bye.
Is that I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into a little hot topics, shall we?
Sure.
Go for it.
Hot topics. All right, guys. There's a little something called the NCAA basketball tournament going on.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is that this week?
that's been this week. Yeah.
I took a lot of crap because I arrived home from the emergency room literally
Is this still about your appendix?
literally 1 minute before the tip-off of the first game of the NCAA
Yeah,
tournament, and
that's
there
true.
were some accusations.
There weren't
flying.
accusations.
Oh,
there was,
that you were setting, you're just biding your time, or
That I did this on purpose to be able to sit home and watch
right.
the entire tournament.
The
okay.
first ever elective appendectomy, coinciding with his wanting to watch the first few rounds of
Well,
the
I mean, that kind of
NCAA
makes
tournament.
sense. Like,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Have you heard that commercial? They had that one commercial about the guys that get
The
the
vasectomies?
vasectomies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it with his surgeon, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes.
You got that done too at the same time?
No.
Wow. Let's get everything done at
Yeah,
once.
right.
Just do it. Get those, just the whole thing.
Yeah.
All
How
right.
long are you going to be down for? By the end of the tournament?
They told me
Right.
maybe if I'm lucky enough to abscess, I could pull that off.
Right. It depends how far Duke goes.
Right. Well, then I'm out for about 3 weeks.
Sure.
So Drew, do you happen to have access to our brackets?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop, you did not get a bracket.
I did not get a bracket in. No, I was at work.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance
for
to.
a whole week.
Melissa Dowdy is murdering all of us right
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case. Where's she got point-wise there?
430.
Yeah. What do the rest of us have?
Your 2 brackets are second and third.
Oh, well, what do you know? Ignorance is bliss.
Gary, you're Quigley, right?
Yes.
Your second bracket's 4th. I'm 5th. Your 5th bracket your second bracket's tied with me at 5th. And Timmy somehow signed up, but
and then
did not fill out a bracket.
Right, didn't finalize his bracket.
Wow.
So in some ways, you could take some solace knowing that Timmy Booth is last. I mean, he's in there.
Yeah.
He has 0
Our
points.
only listener didn't even play. He does everything. That we
He's in the UK.
do. Okay.
I follow him on Facebook. He's not available.
I can bring
I'm
you
not
mine.
having a good bracket run this year.
Yeah. Well, how many brackets do you have in other?
Just
with your other families?
This and one other.
Oh, okay.
And I'm doing. My Final Four is still intact.
Well,
but that's about.
Let's talk about the big upset so far. Villanova, right?
Yes.
They lost to Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I got that right.
Kudos, good
it's
job.
not written down anywhere.
No,
That's ridiculous.
That was good.
It's a true thing.
Don't tell me you thought their mascot was cute.
No, I didn't pick it. I said this is a big upset.
Oh.
Yeah, but you got upset.
Oh.
So,
About the upset.
about the upset. No, I was just saying I was proud of myself for knowing that it was Villanova was beaten by Wisconsin.
All right.
The bar I set for myself here is very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
All right.
So that's one of the big upsets.
Kentucky survived Wichita State.
Did they? What was the score?
It was 65-62.
And what happened with Michigan Louisville?
I watched that
knocked
entire
off
game.
Louisville. Look
Michigan?
at you. You got another one.
Right? Am I right? Gary's homesick. He's
Well,
watching
I
the
watched
TV
that entire game in front of me.
It was a great game.
It was a really good game. I enjoyed that a lot.
So how are things shaking out?
Didn't Michigan? Let me ask these guys if they know anything about it. Didn't Michigan survive
a plane crash?
Did it crash? What happened?
Well, it was a terrible, a rough landing. Like something happened and they had to.
Yeah, that can carry you a long way. I think. In
then
the
they won their conference tournament. And now they're
because they weren't playing very well.
No,
but when you survive death, you tend to get motivated.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus. So what else is going on? Like that's the big news. Who's made it through? Who maybe wasn't expected to? Who now looks like they're on a roll? Michigan sounds like it's one of those.
Michigan's definitely on a roll.
They're really the big news. The only one piece of big news is the number 1 seed getting knocked out.
And the Big Ten as a conference.
Yeah.
Is
doing well.
Doing well.
Yeah.
We'll see if Michigan State can beat Kansas tonight.
I
don't either. But they destroyed the team that they played in the first round.
As the mediocrity creeps in because all the
Miami.
good players leave immediately, you're going to get more and more of this, like everybody kind of being equal, and you'll see more of those like 9s beating 1s.
Well, and I will say this we're based here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and UNCW yet again a tough fight. They lost by 5 points to UVA, I think it was.
And then Virginia turns around and scores 39 points in their second game.
Wow. So who did they lose to? We don't know, but they lost.
Who was it?
I don't know.
The winners.
Yeah.
The winners, yeah.
Florida.
The Wascally winners. The winners of Wascally. But yeah.
Did you see the Florida State game?
Yeah.
Florida State got run out of the gym.
Xavier looked good.
Yeah.
So okay, that's kind of my question. Who's sort of wasn't Villanova, but now it's looking pretty good.
I think there's a little bit of a story that the ACC, other than the one headline team and the other sub-headline team, are not doing that well, really.
Right. So Duke let's get to that. Duke and Chapel Hill still both in it. Yes.
Are they both play today, so
they
see.
both play today.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do they play tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Duke plays at 8. I don't know about
Carolina plays at 6.
Who are they
so
each
we gotta
playing?
wrap this up.
Yeah, okay. Who are they each playing?
Carolina's playing Arkansas.
Duke's playing South Carolina.
And Carolina's playing Arkansas. So, and how do you guys feel about your babies?
I feel okay. I'm a little nervous. Joel Berry tweaked his ankle last game.
Oh, yeah?
So we'll see how that affects him.
I watched the Arkansas first-round game, and they have pressure. I think that might – I mean, who knows? Carolina's got way more talent.
What makes me feel better is they don't have size.
Yeah,
they got nobody to
small.
compete with us.
They're very small.
I just want Duke and Chapel Hill to play it for the play in the finals.
No,
so that
you just want the most remarkable outcome in the history of the NCAA tournament.
I just
okay, well
want
that's
the most
not
remarkable.
much.
And then you and Gary can fight to the death.
Well, at least the game is Monday night.
It's gonna kill me.
I offer myself as tribute.
At least the finals are Monday night, so it would be worse if it was Sunday at noon and then we did the podcast immediately afterwards.
We've done that. We remember how when Carolina lost the Super Bowl. And we tried to have a podcast.
Yeah, this would be worse than that, though. This is not even the same. I don't even mind Carolina in football.
All right, guys.
Do you think if like Duke and UNC go, like,
it's possible too?
It is very possible. That's what I picked in my bracket at work, and
so you filled out a bracket for some.
I was at work. So.
All the places that matter.
Yeah,
right.
I got it.
I was at
with
work.
the people who matter to him.
Right.
And I should have just took a photo of that and sent that in or whatever. Probably.
It's okay with me, man.
So I could have won.
I got your back.
I'll tell you what, Lewis.
Yeah.
If you send me a picture of that,
sure.
With all no bullshit honor system,
right.
I will count it.
Okay, we'll see if I can. Anyways, but
it's all falling apart.
No,
that was fantastic.
I don't have
bluff.
Did you see how we did that?
Yeah, I saw it. Go ahead.
I don't have it on my person. I'll do it.
I'll accept it through tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, do you think like instead of them playing the game, like if we just show up with Gary and Drew, and say they're going to fight to the death?
Yes, they are going to decide this.
Right, and then that's the
they
game.
both
I
have
couldn't do
their
it
pros
today.
and cons.
I can't do it today.
They both have their pros and cons. You know, Drew's
Well, when's the finals?
good, like towards the last
beginning of April.
Yeah, Monday.
You
April
got time
2nd.
to heal.
Yeah, you got time to heal.
Would you like us to level the playing field and
Drew's
take
got-
out
Oh, it's not
Drew's?
the end of April. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Take out Drew's appendix?
the first.
Oh, the beginning of
the
April.
first Monday of April.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Drew has got bad shoulders and knees. You've got,
I got a
valve
cow heart.
and a missing appendix and an open
seems
wound.
fair.
So I feel like it would feel
It
even
evens
out.
out.
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah. I think we should remove his appendix
Right, and then
just to level it.
I
Well,
wanna
but now
know-
I'm 5 days ahead of him in recovery, though.
Right. Well,
How about we remove like 85% of his appendix?
Well, Drew can just do it at work at the vet. So yeah, he could probably just
Actually, my surgeon kind of reminded me of our vet surgeon.
Well,
Didn't you think so?
They're kind of badass.
She was sort of like country homey. Yeah, I liked her.
She's badass.
Reminded me of the vet.
Is there anything else about the NCAA tournament that you guys want to share? Because
I want to talk about the women's tournament.
Okay, well, can we
Very briefly. I only want to talk about one thing, and then I
Okay.
don't want anybody to mention anything else.
Okay, can you go ahead and can we have a change of topic music then? All right, Gary, as requested. What about the NCAA women's?
I'm just
basketball
curious.
tournament?
Did either of you see
Oh, if this is
the
insulting,
top
I'm
two
gonna
seeds play? Did you see anything about the games that they played last night?
The women's tournament?
Yes.
No.
I watched some of it, but I left my bracket at work. So
Well, let me tell you.
Right.
UConn won by 63 points in the tournament.
Jesus.
Can you imagine 57 points. 57 points in the tournament. Can you imagine like a first round even if it's one of the top seeds, a game that somebody won by 57? It couldn't happen. They put their second string in because they'd be embarrassed at about 30, and the second string on a good team couldn't run up the score 30 more points on anybody. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous. So that game goes off, and everybody's going on and on about it. And then, like 20 minutes later, the next one plays, and they're up 69-13 at the half. Baylor over some, who knows, and end up winning by NCAA tournament record like 69 points total at the end. And they were showing the highlights back-to-back on ESPN. And the first guy, as the second game starts, they show the end score, and they're up 69-point victory in the tournament. And the guy's like, has anybody ever seen highlights like that? And they're like, yeah, about 10 seconds ago when you showed the first game. Like, it's remarkable, the disparity between the top and bottom team and the one. I mean, amazing. It's just the worst team in NCAA men's basketball at all. Go find the single worst team I think could play a 69-point game with the number one seed in the tournament. And they can't even get a 69-point game from somebody in the tournament. That's why people don't like women's basketball. There's like 4 teams, and the rest of it is just a joke.
Okay.
I like
That
that.
is what Gary thinks about that. And we have been ordered to not talk about it anymore.
There's
and
nothing else
I always do what my husband tells me to do.
Well, what else would you like to talk about? Do you have one other word that you could say about it?
No, but because now we're going to just mention briefly.
Machismo, would you say that?
No.
No, okay.
Do you guys watch Dancing with the Stars?
My wife watches it, so I sit up here whenever she's watching it. 'Cause she makes me leave because I
don't
talk
really,
the whole time.
I don't really watch it, but Gary.
Blair and I would never be able to sit in the same room.
Gary and I.
We had that rule.
Gary and I Gary told me about the lineup, so I just thought it was interesting. Drew, do you watch Dancing with the Stars?
I'm gonna go no.
I'm gonna go with no. Okay, so here I just thought you guys would find this interesting. Here's some of the folks, because there's usually a lot of athletes on this show. And the roll call for the coming season is Simone Biles, who is the gold medal winning gymnast, American gymnast. Bonner Bolton, I don't know who that is. Charo.
Somebody Google
Charo's
how old.
still alive?
Yes,
Charo.
I was stunned. I thought she died in the 30s.
Erica Jane, who is apparently a reality show person and a singer of some kind. Rashad Jennings.
Right.
Is he a
Rashad
football
Jennings,
person?
if it's the same one, is a football player.
Yeah, that's who I think it is. Chris Kattan.
Why does their Wikipedia page say adjusted birth date?
For who?
Chara.
Because she
Because
lied.
she came from maybe she
lied.
lost her. I don't know.
She's been 39
Born
for
in-
78
She was
years.
born in 51.
All right.
There's no
No.
way.
No.
That's
no.
what I'm saying.
I saw her on the Love Boat
No.
in the mid-70s looking
And she was
60.
at least 40. At least.
It
then.
says adjusted birth date.
Yeah, that's
It's been adjusted.
Nice try. Nancy Kerrigan. who
Oh, here we go. I got one that says 41.
Yeah,
Oh.
closer.
Oh, wait. Okay, she was born in 41. I thought you were saying she was 41.
Yeah, no. That would make her, what, 70?
There's no way.
All right.
I don't believe that.
Nancy Kerrigan, Normani
I mean, that put her at
Corday.
76.
Yeah. I just thought she was like 90. Heather Morris from Glee. David Ross, who's a catcher.
Is he going to penis bump anybody?
Do you guys know who is David Ross? He's a catcher.
He won with the Cubs.
Oh.
Who's the Cubs?
Oh, good for him. Mr. T.
Oh, God.
Mr. T.
Who's older than Charo?
Nice.
Yeah, who's about on par with Charo. And Nick Vial, who I guess was on The Bachelor or something.
Why?
I don't know. All right, I just thought like Nancy Kerrigan and Mr. T and Rashad Jennings and the David Ross guy and the
Is
Simone
Kerrigan going to get her knees
Who's
taken
going
I
to
don't
say
know.
who's going to win?
I'm going to go Mr. T.
I'm going to go Simone.
I'm going with Kerrigan.
Bonner Bolton is a bull rider.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with Kerrigan.
I'll take the young gymnast. Which one was it?
I'll go.
Biles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's where I
probably
went
the
to.
best. That's probably the best choice.
No, everyone can't change your mind now. You said Mr. T.
You know what? I'm going David Ross. Final answer.
All right, David Ross is Drew. I'm taking Kerrigan. Gary, you're taking Simone Biles.
Well, I'll pick somebody else. Who else is there?
You had Simone Biles. You had Charo. She did a lot of
No,
dancing.
no,
Rashad
young.
Jennings, Chris Kattan, a guy, Normani Corday, Heather Morris.
Who's that?
He's a Fifth Element singer.
Okay.
Heather Morris.
Who's that?
From Glee, the show Glee. They were singing and
I'll
dancing.
take her.
Okay, you'll take her.
That's a good choice.
Who about you? Who about
Who about you?
Who about you?
Who about you, Mr. Bishop?
Oh, I said first. I said Simone. I'm taking Simone.
You're taking Simone. Okay.
Right.
All right, got it. Okay.
I think that should be the rule in all of these competitions going forward. Is if somebody's already said it, you can't pick someone.
All right.
Right.
All right, guys. Quick change of bracket. We got one more little topic before we call our guest, Lachlan Patterson. Can we have a change of topic music?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We talked about this briefly, but only 64 pairs of Pizza Hut pie tops, a.k.a. pizza shoes, are going to be made. We heard Will's description of how they work. Who do you think is deserving? Now, I imagine the guy in the commercial, Grant Hill, is it?
No, he doesn't deserve one.
No.
Well, he has one.
He
already.
has a pair, so there's really only 63 pairs. And we don't
Yeah.
have to figure it all out now, but who deserves some pizza shoes? Mr. Maxwell says Charles Barkley, because I want to see him struggle to stay with Weight Watchers when his feet can order pizza anytime.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think anyone. I mean, we're gonna wind up getting rid of Meals on Wheels, so I feel like maybe just somebody in a
No,
senior living.
that's
No?
not what it's for.
Oh, okay.
Don't even like pizza.
That's everyone likes pizza. Who should get?
My grandmother thought pizza was an exotic dining experience.
Oh, okay. Well,
she really did.
fair enough. That means she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Who else deserves pizza shoes besides Charles Barkley?
Well, there's a couple ways you could go with this. Like that Charles Barkley thing, you could follow that plan and just give it to people that you hate that you want to get fat.
Okay.
Or you could give it to people who like pizza as a reward.
Like me.
So Drew,
Drew.
are we
Yeah, I
getting
want
Drew a pair of pizza shoes? This is a lot of work.
I mean, I vote for that.
All right.
I'd sell them.
You'd sell.
Yeah, that's got to be
who?
a super hot eBay item.
Yeah, you're right.
right?
I don't know. Who wants it?
I don't.
It sounds like a real
It
pain
sounds
in
like
the ass.
right. I don't want to order pizza with them. I can just fucking call Pizza Hut. Like, yeah, I'd sell them.
But to
Don't
have
someone
them,
wants them desperately.
Right.
I know they do though.
but just to have them,
Like
you know,
those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They'd
There's-
like some pizza
there's-
shoes, wouldn't they? Don't
like-
they like pizza?
they don't wear shoes.
Oh, damn.
Like those guys that take pictures of themselves on the internet wearing their Pizza Hut or their pizza hoodie, their pizza shoes, their pizza hat, their pizza
Really?
pillows.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I am very out of touch, I feel like.
You don't just go on the internet and look at stuff?
I do, but that would never, like a guy wearing a pizza hat.
Yeah,
I
they wear
don't-
condoms that look like pepperoni.
No, I don't want to. Okay, what's it called?
You never go on there and just Google pizza guys?
Whatever.
I mean, look.
Extra sauce, please.
I don't want to get into whatever it is Drew is into. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
but no, I don't just Google.
You don't just go home and put on all your pizza memorabilia and bro out with all your friends on the internet? No.
I think. Here's what I think. I think Bill Clinton would like a pair of pizza ordering shoes.
Oh, he would. I feel
Okay,
like
I
he
can't
would.
wait to hear the reason.
Well, no, he was a big eater.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
And then, that way he doesn't have to, nobody has to know.
I thought there was
He
something
ordered-
going.
No,
like
no,
that.
no. Just
No, I've come around on Bill Clinton. I would give him a pair of pizza shoes.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Bishop, any pizza shoes?
No, I
Anyone
just
screaming
want to
after
hear
pizza?
more about Drew Googling guys with food stuff.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Do you have pizza shoes or pizza sheets or anything like that, Drew?
No, this is a picture of me when I was 3, though.
Do you have scratch and oh my God!
I'm just
Wow.
playing. That's really not me.
Oh,
That's a kid on
God.
there.
I was going to say, what?
It's
That
a
was
baby,
quite a coincidence.
It's a baby with a cap with pizzas over it, and he's got like a
Pizza glasses?
pizza glass, sunglasses.
See, I'm
and
telling you,
pizza.
it's out there.
All right, I don't.
Is it just pizza or is it other food items?
Well, I
I've
hesitate
only
to.
found the pizza.
I hesitate to say this, but if there's pizza guys,
here it is.
with the
Here's
sexual
the pizza, dude.
Oh, that's terrible. I realize that this visual gag is of no use to our viewers, but we'll
Yeah.
just
Y'all
have
were
to-
curious.
Just send me. Was I? I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's everything when
Okay.
it comes down to it. I think.
All right.
is
Well,
what
let's.
Is there dudes that dress as the same two items that Blair cooks for Gary for the past 20 years?
Yeah.
There's got to be a pasta bro out there.
Okay.
Pasta Bro. You look up Pasta Bro while I
Oh,
talk
see,
about.
Katy Perry had a swimsuit that was all pizza.
Would it be a pasta bro or a pasta pal?
Wow, that's
Oh,
good.
look
I
at
like
you.
that.
Pasta Pal is cute.
I like that.
Pizza Pal also
She had
cute.
the pizza onesie. Come on.
That's
I don't understand.
For
this.
that, I nominate Katy Perry to
All
have
right.
a
All right, we
Katy-
give her a pair of shoes.
Carrie Pitt.
Only 61 more to
Well,
award.
we'll just do one or two a week, and by the
Okay.
end of the year, we'll have given them all out. All right, guys. Well, it's about time that we call our guest, Lachlan Patterson, on the Dead Crow Comedy Room Celebrity Talk Line. Listeners, Dead Crow Comedy Room in Wilmington, North Carolina, has weekly events featuring local and regional comedians and nationally touring comics from TV and movies every weekend, like Lachlan Patterson, who'll be headlining there March 24th and 25th, 2017. Whether you're local or one of the thousands of tourists to the Wilmington, North Carolina area every year, be sure to check them out at deadcrowcomedy.com. That's deadcrowcomedy.com. Uh-oh, why can't I not? Oh, I pushed a button that I wasn't supposed to push.
Huh.
Oh, and now I've dropped things.
I hear the sound of a missile launching. What did you push?
Everything's fine. All right, guys, let's call
that
it.
detonation button they put in your appendix.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Let's-
Do you think
No,
the
we're
NSA
calling-
took this opportunity? All right.
Come on, hold this. Lachlan's not going to know about your
Shit,
appendicitis.
I didn't even think about that.
Hello,
Hello, is this Lachlan Patterson?
speaking.
Oh, hello. This is Blair Postman, and you're on the air with My Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
Good, Blair. Good.
It's good to talk to you.
Good.
Go ahead.
I got to learn the rhythm. We got to get a rhythm going.
A little bit of a rhythm. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Perhaps we'll test it out this way. I'll tell you who else is in the studio here with me. It is
Sure.
my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Gary. It's Gary with a G.
That's it?
That's correct.
What's up, buddy?
It's an old school 60s name.
Yes, it is. It is.
All I think of when I hear Gary is Team America World Police.
Right, me too. It's who I was named after.
Perfect. That's perfect. Also here is our Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian Drew Harrison.
Hey, man.
What's up, dude?
And I guess that was a rhetorical question for Drew. And then rounding things out, we have sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Man about town.
Yes, indeed.
What's up, Louie?
Not much, man.
Now,
Good, man.
Lachlan, I'm gonna read a little bio of you for our listeners. Yeah, I kind of pulled this one together. You have an unusual website.
You wrote this?
I didn't write the facts of this, but Lachlan has a...
Okay, I just like to keep these things straight.
Yeah, Lachlan, my husband thinks that I make up things in everyone's bio. Yours was an interesting challenge because you have like that nice timeline. But right. So I kind of pulled some things from that.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, okay. He was born, he grew up in British Columbia, Vancouver. You started comedy at 19, and by the early 2000s, you started touring clubs in Canada and were in festivals, including Just for Laughs and Aspen Rooftop Comedy Festival. He's been on The Tonight Show and was runner-up on Last Comic Standing. And your new special, Live from Venice Beach, is available now on CISO. Big round of applause, everyone, for Lachlan Patterson, everybody.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us. We've already mentioned that you're going to be at Dead Crow Comedy this weekend in Wilmington, North Carolina. And
yes.
So you have a really fascinating array of interests. We always ask our guests what kind of sports or sports-ish things they're interested in, and you've got a lot of them. And so the first thing I'm going to hit on is just that you grew up in Vancouver and in Canada. Do you have any sort of holdover fandoms from that world, whether it's I'm going to stereotypically say hockey, or did you grow up loving any Vancouver team?
Yeah, the BC Lions. British Columbia's Canadian football team.
Did they ever play in the Grey Cup?
They did. In fact, Doug Flutie played for them.
That's a thing I know about. We do have a couple Canadian listeners, so we've had other Canadian guests, so we've learned some things. So do you still root for the Lions?
Of course, I roar for the Lions.
You roar for the Lions.
You don't root for them.
Oh, you roar for them?
Yes.
Do you have a roar? Like, what might that sound like?
I don't know. It's just kind of okay. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Nice.
You know what? You win the super supportive Yes and Guest Award for that.
Thank
for
you.
going for that.
One of my hackles went up. Not all of them, but one hackle went up.
One hackle went up? You found that?
I heard that. Yeah, it didn't totally scare me, but I could sense a little of the reality behind it.
Okay.
Imagine if you're a BC Lions fan. At the end of the roar, you open a Kokanee, which is a local beer.
Oh,
and then you drink it, and then you smash it on your head.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
And I like that.
And then you go into the stadium.
You opened it with your teeth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Yes, we can feel that now.
Your back teeth.
Right.
Your back teeth. And
right.
It's getting vivid. It's getting very vivid for me. And so that was your big fandom growing up. And then I'm going to kind of shift gears here, and this attracted my eye because my husband was in resale furniture for a business for a long time, years ago.
Oh, cool.
And so I understand that you make furniture?
I do. I love to make furniture. I make most of the furniture in our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I made 3 of the beds, the couch, the chair, and the coffee tables, and anything that I can have time to do, given my hectic comedy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do myself. Just built last week. I built a 2-story rabbit hutch for my rabbit.
Ooh.
Well, I have a question for you. What sort of style? Like, you're making this furniture for your house. Like, is it traditional furniture, or is it a certain type or style?
It is definitely all made with reclaimed products that I find in the alleys.
Nice.
Really? But
Yeah.
it looks, but then it looks classy afterwards when you're done with it, because you're a craftsman.
Yeah, I don't finish it. I like to leave it a little unfinished.
That's definitely a thing that, what do they call that?
Like a shabby chic?
Right, exactly.
Well, this sounds even a little more, a little rustic chic kind of thing happening.
Yeah,
distressed, you know.
Yes.
Distressed. There we go. I love to make it a little distressed, and because I'm using products that aren't perfect.
Right.
And sometimes, a board is cracked, or it's just, it's just not the same. Everything's not the same color. All the wood.
Right.
It's the same color, or even the same kind of wood. I think there's no point in trying to be perfect because people are gonna call you out.
Well, that's an important lesson for all of us in every aspect of our lives, probably. But how did you get? I'm just fascinated by this. It's just not something we usually talk about. And Gary's a much bigger expert on furniture than I'll ever be. But how did you get started? Was it just something you were growing up doing?
Yeah, my dad used to make furniture in his spare time, and him and my mom are very resourceful with the materials that were in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just drive around and see something, and if the rule is I got to know what I'm going to do with it before I put it in the van.
That sounds like, is that a rule that has been imposed upon you by maybe somebody you live with?
Yeah.
Who's had to deal with a lot of stuff piling up all over the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just around the neighborhood, I'll just leave it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just moving garbage from one neighborhood to my neighborhood.
Right. Have you ever gotten in trouble, like you thought something was garbage and you got it out of someone's yard and they come out to like fight you or something? Has that ever happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been told that's not garbage many times. I've probably overstepped the line a couple of times.
So you're a thief, is what you're saying.
Right.
You are stealing things from people.
I've stolen.
Okay.
That big thing of money is not trash.
I put on one of those masks with the 3 holes in it when I go looking for wood.
Oh, nice. What's the best thing you ever made besides the rabbit hutch?
Oh man, what am I most proud of? I mean, the bed that I sleep in is really fun. I mean, it was made with wood that was in the back of a pickup truck that was parked on my block.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And the truck had a parking ticket. And this was good wood, Gary. It was barn
Yeah.
oak.
Yeah,
Ooh.
nice.
And they were big oak boards, like 1 by 8.
How do you think the guy who had it in his truck felt when he noticed it wasn't there anymore?
Well, what I did is I wrote a note on his parking ticket. I'll pay your parking ticket for the wood in the back of your car.
Oh.
He called me and he's like, "Yeah, man, I was actually trying to get rid of it. It was from a shoot that I was on, and they left me to get rid of it. So I was trying to find a dump, and I said, so I paid it was at least $600 worth of wood, and I got for $75, and we became friends.
Wow.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It's a beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story. I would love to see pictures, and maybe we can, contract for something, because I'm not allowed to buy furniture from normal furniture
Well, you don't need
stores.
to buy furniture anymore. I made you a bed too, just like this. Only I made it out of an antique circus popcorn machine.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh
It's
God.
hard.
She loves it. Every night I turn the blowers on. It's fantastic.
It smells great, but it has
Uses a lot of oil though.
It has a lot of drawbacks.
Right.
Yeah, you don't wake up fully refreshed.
No, all that salt.
Yeah, there's a lot of salt. I have very high blood pressure now.
Right.
But Gary's, because Gary's like, oh, that's from Indonesia, and they don't dry the wood out, and it's gonna explode if it gets wet, and I don't know, other things are terrible. So I have to wait until the perfect used piece of furniture comes up, and so maybe this is a way around that.
I got one more question about him taking stuff.
Okay.
Have you ever been riding
Is that Drew?
No, this is Lewis. This is Lewis.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Man about the street.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Have you ever been riding with your girlfriend or whatever, right? And you see something, and does she get mad if you stop and put stuff in the van then, or do you have to remember where it is so you don't get in a fight with her and then come back?
Good question.
That's a good question. Gary knows about that.
We are like the Borg from Star Trek. We are perfectly in tune at this point. We know what we're doing. We used to have fights about things, and then she found a headboard that she wanted to make into into a platform lounger.
Okay.
And I said, there's no way. It was a leather headboard, and I said, there's no way this thing looks good outside. And I just couldn't. I didn't think I could make it work. And we got it, and it just it slowly warped. And Gary, it just wasn't a good thing. And yeah, she both of us bring things into the house that cause.
Yeah, we're familiar with that concept.
Yeah, sometimes, right, I understand where she's coming from. She eventually was worn down, and she said, I'm just going to start enabling. It's just easier. I get along on a surface level, and it will probably cause a lot of bigger problems in our lives, but day to day, much easier to just enable the problem. All right, I understand.
Imagine what it's like for couples who are hoarders.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, if you've got twice the fun. Because they're both hoarders. We've.
What are you going to read these newspapers?
Well, it's easier if they're both hoarders. There's just no questions asked, I would guess.
Or
do you think they hoard? You think they hoard different things, and they each are mad at the other one because they want to make more room?
My mother was a food hoarder over everything. She was a food hoarder.
She was, but I'm wondering, if you hoard cats, but I hoard magazines, are you mad at me about the magazines because you want room for more cats?
For sure.
Yeah, I maybe it's not
out of that situation, you think Gary would be the hoarder of cats?
Look, Gary's a cat whisperer. You guys think I'm a cat lady, but
I don't even like cats.
No, please. You have no idea. You have no idea. But okay, well, very interesting the whole hoarder on hoarder thing. Okay, another thing that you're and I'm sorry to be skipping around, but you have a lot of interesting things you're interested in. Sorry to be redundant, but that we don't always get to talk about here on the podcast. You're a big surfing fan.
I follow surfing, and I surf, but I don't say that word normally.
What do you say?
Wave slide.
I'm sorry, what?
Wave slide.
You wave slide?
I have a podcast as well called The Kooks of Comedy.
I saw that. Yeah.
And if you come on the podcast and you say surf, you have to drink.
Okay. And why?
So I don't say
How come we didn't set something up to where
Sorry, guys. I wasn't ready for this. Next weekend, next podcast episode, we'll set up a drinking game. Why?
We don't say surf too much.
Why? We don't say surf a lot. We'll make up a different word.
Oh, okay.
Like be quiet or something.
That'll fly.
And why do you call it wave sliding? Or am I just not cool and I don't know that that's what everyone in California calls it?
It's just to avoid saying surf.
Okay.
That's all. It's just a word. I mean, you could think of any word. How about board glide or plank?
Right. All right.
Okay.
I didn't know if this was part of the surfer culture, that's the slang that the kids are using or not.
Unfortunately.
Or it's just a you thing. It's just your own thing.
Yeah, it's just a word that unfortunately gets used a lot. Because it means so many things. It means the action. It's a verb. It's it's a noun, and it's an adjective.
I know one thing about surfing.
Is this going to be a real thing?
No, I know that the North Shore, most of the places on the North Shore of Oahu are pretty near to the pineapple ice cream stand at the Dole Plantation.
Yes, we do know that.
Yep.
Well, we did go to Hawaii on our honeymoon, and so I became fascinated. I didn't want to go surf myself, but I came.
No, it's fun to watch it though.
Fascinated watching. I'll watch the surfing videos on TV too. It's just they're fascinating. There's something oddly relaxing about it, even though they could tumble to their death at any moment.
Right.
Yes, it is a very exciting sport to watch, and.
So who's the new head guy now that Slater's not there anymore?
Well, Slater's still this is
he still is
year.
Oh, okay.
He's 45 years old, and he's competing against 21-year-olds. It's amazing, but he is and he still can win. He made it yesterday in Australia. So I say last night because I watched in Australia. He made it to the semifinals. He made it to the semifinals. So he's still very competitive.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really fun sport. To watch.
Who won?
A guy named Owen Wright, which is amazing because he suffered a brain injury last year and he missed a whole year of of competing, and this was the first event back after a year of not competing.
And he won
he won it.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was in tears. He just has a new baby, and it was really exciting to watch. It was a big day for surfing.
Do you have a story about your own wave sliding that's either really scary or really amazing?
You know, I love surfing. And actually me and my girlfriend both surf together alone, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You're
not like on a board together, like a tandem bike or something.
We sit about 50 to 100 yards apart and have our own experience. Every once in a while a dolphin will swim by. Like today, a dolphin swam by me and I could hear it breathing. And
oh my gosh.
Like that's how close they were.
So you see a fin and you hear some breath, but you know it's a dolphin.
Yeah.
Okay, because that would make me nervous.
I've been on my board and had one go underneath me, and all I saw was this massive gray fish under me.
Right.
And it scared the hell out of me. And then it's such an interesting animal because it looks like the most deadly animal in the sea.
Right.
But it's actually the friendliest animal in the sea.
Right.
And so what a stark difference.
Well,
when it looks just like a shark.
Well, just to tie it back to the furniture, have you ever built a surfboard?
No, but that's funny. I should build a surfboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were betting you had.
I prepare a lot of surfboards. I find surfboards in the alleys. And I patch them up, and of course I do. And I try to patch them up and make them look real nice. And it's just a little project when I'm bored.
I think the Lachlan Patterson line of recycled into surfboard line is going to have a future someday.
Doesn't Lachlan Patterson sound like he lives down the street from Laird Hamilton? Those names kind of have the same vibe. Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
Someday. All right. Well, we play a game every week, a different game with our comedian guest. And we always ask our guests, what sports or sports-ish thing they're into. And you gave us, as I mentioned, an unusually wide-ranging answer. And this is what you said. You said, I'm into surfing, a little chess, UFC a bit, basketball, football, cards, building furniture, video games are always fun as well. So that's...
I said that?
Yes. Yes, you did. And
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, so we're going to play Lachlan Patterson's The Most Interesting Comedian in the World Sports and Sports-ish Thing Trivia Challenge. So we're going to have questions about all of those subjects, and we'll see how you do. If you do well, you win nothing. But if you do poorly, we talk about it later.
Oh, I don't want you to talk about it ever again.
Okay, so you're not the only one. Okay, so are you ready? Are you ready to play the most? Because you kind of struck me as like the most interesting man in the world, but in comedian form.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a compliment in that title.
I take it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome, Gary. Why don't you start with question number 1?
Hit me.
All right. And by the way, just so you know, Blair has a reputation for making these questions so impossibly hard that we're all laughing at you last week. Okay. Nobody knew those answers. You couldn't even Google them. The machine would just explode.
It was not on purpose.
Yeah. So I made her make a few easy ones, and this is the easiest one of all. But we'll start with the easy ones and get harder. On what Hawaiian island is the Banzai Pipeline located?
That would be Oahu.
Yay! All right.
Ding, 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 ding. All right. Great. All right, this next one is chess related. Go ahead, Drew. What's number 2?
That's chess related?
Yes, it is.
A little bit.
I'm already going to lose.
Just so you know, we wanted them to be interesting questions because you're so interesting. So
right.
They're not just all these straightforward kind of questions. So go ahead.
All right. Thank you.
What do Bobby Fischer, Barbara Streisand, and Neil Diamond have in common?
Oh, man. Barbra Streisand. Oh, man.
You can give up.
I give up. I just want to know.
Yeah. Besides being Jewish,
ask him if he knows who Bobby Fischer is.
You know who Bobby Fischer is, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll just take your word for it.
I knew he did.
Who's Neil Diamond?
Right.
Sweet Caroline. They all went to Erasmus High School in Brooklyn together at the same time.
You know, I was going to say they're all from New York. But
And that would have been sort of a big picture question, you know.
We would have asked you to be more specific, but you would have been on the right path.
they're all loudmouth.
Okay, also probably an acceptable answer, actually. Well, I feel like, let's go to the next one. We'll see how you do, and I think you're going to do great.
This one's a little harder.
This one's a little harder, but it is interesting.
Lachlan, I still think you're very interesting. I just want to let you know.
Oh, thanks, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right. So, number 3, this notable lacrosse and football star was the first president of the American Professional Football Association in 1920. 2 years later, the APFA changed its name to the NFL. Who is that person? Who was that first president? He's well known.
You'll know his name when she
You'll
says
know
it.
his name.
And are we talking about the 1920s?
Yes, we are. Is that a problem for you?
You were alive then, right?
I didn't even know if football existed then.
Well, we're all
started in 1920, as it turns out.
We're all learning a lot today.
I mean, Kissinger? I don't know.
Sure.
It's a good guess.
Good guess. And Jim Thorpe.
Oh, I was going to say, oh my God, are you kidding? Jim Thorpe?
Yes.
He was
I'm
the
not kidding.
First president of the NFL. Isn't that crazy?
Only athlete to excel in 3 sports, too.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. I actually was going to say Jim Thorpe, but I thought that would just be ridiculous.
Well,
I had
you seemed really genuinely shocked.
Well, when you say 20s lacrosse star, there's no one else that you could possibly come up with a name other than Jim Thorpe.
Lacrosse and football.
Yeah.
I might give you half a point for that, just because you're like, I really believed it.
Because he's disappointed.
No, he really believed it.
I'm gonna go with my instinct on the next one.
Okay, you know what? And it's gonna serve you well. Go ahead, Gary. Number 4.
Get it right, because I can't pronounce the answer. As the first lifeguard at Waimea Bay on the island of Oahu, he saved over 500 people and became famous for surfing the big Hawaiian surf, winning several awards. He was lost at sea in 1978.
It's Eddie Aikau.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding. All right.
Eddie would go. That's right.
All right. Now we're going to go to your interest of cars with question 5 there, Drew.
What was the most expensive car ever sold at public auction? And we're looking for type, model, and year.
That was very nice, Drew, the way you did that.
Wow.
Damn professional.
It was. This is a tough one.
I knew it.
I would say it's a 1967 Chevy.
Okay.
Of some kind.
No, but it was a 1962 Ferrari 250. And because you guessed the 60s, I will give you 1/4 of a point.
Wow.
Despite my reputation, I try to set our guests up for success here on the show. All right.
Yeah, you really do with this next question.
Well, some people would get this.
I would get it. Some people would get it. I knew
all right, Lachlan. This is sort of a chess question.
All right.
Sort of a chess question.
This hit song came from the Broadway musical Chess, and it peaked at number 3 on the Billboard charts in 1985.
Great song, too.
1985?
Yes.
One Night in Bangkok?
Yes!
Yay, there you go.
Oh, yeah, you win the whole thing. You win the hearts and minds. Win the hearts and minds
Let
of
me
us.
tell you something. That song peaked at number 3, but if you were listening to the radio like I was in 1985, that was my favorite song for like a year. It's a great song.
I wish I could say it's the first time it's ever come up on the podcast.
No, we
but
talk about this all the time.
It's such a weird. You know what? You're an amazing human being.
That was good.
Good answer.
I'm
All
impressed.
right. Gary, why don't you appropriately ask the furniture question?
Okay. What do you call the joint that is nearly the same as a basic butt joint, but the two joints are joined at an angle?
That would be, are we talking about a miter?
Yes,
a mitered butt joint.
Gary also likes saying butt joint.
Yes.
But
Me too.
Yeah.
I like a good butt joint.
yeah, and these two are next to each other. They're attached. They're joined at an angle, these two butt joints. Okay.
There we go. I'm back.
Wow.
All right. This is sort of a crossover question. Video games and surfing. Why don't you go ahead, Drew?
All right. Well, how they felt about the one night in Bangkok. This is how I feel about this question. This was the last console surfing game ever released.
So, in other words, one that you would play on like an Xbox or whatever, not just out on the internet.
Right. And man,
go with your gut.
You know, I know that it's is it Kelly Slater's?
You got this. I got faith in you.
I see the game.
Be the game.
Be the game. No.
You're not an amateur. You're a
pro.
Yes.
Surfer.
Yes.
Oh wow. Jeez.
You win.
Did I get
You win the
it?
whole
You
thing.
got it. Kelly Slater's pro surfer. To me, you got the more difficult part, which is the name of the dude, right? But all right.
Oh man.
This is a chess question.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, this is a chess question.
Thanks, guys.
We're 2/3 of the way through. Soviet Grandmaster Alexander Alekhine, I think that's how you say it. A-L-E. Alekhine loved cats. He was often seen at tournaments with cats or cat motifs on his clothing. When he brought a cat to tournaments, what did it do? What did his cats do at tournaments? Come on, you said you were sort of interested in chess a little bit, and now we're asking you this.
His cats would move the pieces.
I'm going to give you a quarter of a point
Wow,
because,
that's
first of
generous.
all, you came up with as real an answer as you possibly could. He would have the cat walk across the board before the game started
For good luck.
For good luck. Also, turns out, huge anti-Semite and disparaged what he called the Jewish way of playing chess.
However,
So not overall a great guy.
However, his defense later was that his wife was living in Nazi-occupied Paris at the time, and he was afraid that if he didn't say that, they would take it out on her.
All right.
So we don't really know if he was.
We don't know. But whatever, loved
But-
cats. And that's important.
So he either was an anti-Semite or he was a traitor.
Yeah, either way.
He liked cats, though.
Or a man
Or
who
a
loved
great
his
husband.
wife.
You know?
Right, a man who loved his wife.
He believed that a cat walking across the chessboard could affect his game.
Right. So maybe we
So
shouldn't.
he's got it all together.
Maybe we shouldn't take his opinion on everything too seriously.
Right.
All right, Gary. Your question 10 there.
The man was a native Hawaiian competition swimmer who popularized the ancient Hawaiian sport of surfing. He was born towards the end of the Kingdom of Hawaii, just before the overthrow, living into statehood as a United States citizen. He was a 5-time Olympic medalist in swimming.
I'm going to say his first name is Duke.
Yes, it is.
And
I'll get.
Kamanamanu?
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, it is. Mananada, bum, ba-da-da-da, kamamanu, bum, bidi-boo.
Right.
Oh, that is amazing. All right, 2 more questions. You are crushing
So
it.
he's smarter than every other guest we've ever had put together.
Crushing it. Crushing it.
And may I add, more interesting.
Yes, if he was a Bond, he would pay really high.
When I think of a theme, we just beat it to the ground.
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, Drew. 2 more questions. You're number 11.
Do you know the answer to number 11?
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. No, you just retire.
We do know the answer.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, we do.
All right.
You don't know who that is?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No, he, we know the answer to number 11. Go ahead.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
okay,
We
we'll tell you.
We'll
Okay.
tell you.
Which was the first professional team to retire Wilt Chamberlain's jersey?
This
Yeah, okay.
This
Yeah,
is
I got you.
Oh, man.
This is your basketball question because you passingly mentioned that you liked basketball.
Right.
I guess he started with Philadelphia.
You would think.
You would think, and
Was it since it's not on here, can I guess what he
yes, you can guess.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
was it the
take your time.
Globetrotters?
Yes.
It was the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, he played a year
kidding
with
me.
the Globetrotters before. His big deal was to throw
Meadowlark
Lemon like 100 feet up in the air and catch him. And they retired his jersey. Yeah, he played a year before he turned pro.
Man.
I wonder how much money he made with the
I don't know. I think it was a bigger deal to be a Globetrotter in 1950 or whatever it was than it is now.
Yes, it was. But Meadowlark Lemon from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right.
And Michael Jordan. So they had all kinds
A lot
of
of basketball here.
A lot of basketball. All right, here's your last question, Lachlan. And we are hitting our last topic, UFC. What year was UFC 1 the beginning? And for extra points, who were the fighters?
Oh man.
You mean in the final?
I think I even watched it. So I'm gonna say it was probably in 1990.
Close. 1993.
93.
You have a guess on any of the two tournament, the
two
final,
finalists?
the two finalists?
There was Royce Gracie. Was he it?
Yep.
And
I'm amazed.
If he gets this one, I'm really amazed.
And he fought. Oh man, did he fight? I can't remember the guy's name. I just see him.
Can I give you his initials?
Yes.
GG.
I don't have it.
You
Go
know,
for it. Who is it?
Is this that actor with the big nose?
No, it's close. It's Gerard Gordeau, not Gerard Depardieu.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you a half a point there, and I'll tell you
Thank
what.
you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then other pieces. You probably got about 9 or 10 points out of 12.
Blair can't add fractions very well.
Yeah, well, they said that's a point there and a half, and I scrawled all over this thing. But I'm very impressed, everybody. Let's give a big round of applause.
All right, that was brilliant.
Thank you. That was fun. Thank you, guys.
All right, so Lachlan, before we let you go, do you have anything else coming up or that you want people to know about besides your shows at Dead Crow this weekend?
Just that they can check out where these jokes came from by listening to my podcast.
Sure.
That's where we develop I develop a lot of my material from the podcast, and if they want to come have a listen and maybe they get into surfing, we also talk about comedy. It's 50-50 down the middle, and you really don't need to know anything about surfing to listen to the podcast, and maybe you'll learn something about sharks. We asked one question on the show. Maybe I could ask you guys it.
Okay, sure.
And you can go around the room and each give your answer. And if you were attacked by a shark, which would you rather lose, an arm or a leg?
If I were attacked by a shark, would I rather lose an arm or a leg?
I got one.
Yeah, can I get my answer?
Go ahead, Lewis.
A leg.
A leg?
Why?
So you're just going to limp?
No, they have wheelchairs now.
Okay, so
Now
you'll spend your life not walking.
Well, they have fake legs too.
Yeah, I would get a badass prosthesis.
We're not a super athletic group of people, Lachlan.
Hey,
so.
speak for yourself.
All right, so Lewis, your leg. Go ahead.
I'm going leg.
I would go leg too because of the prosthetics I got now. I would go for that. You can walk around fine nowadays without a leg.
I will say that when you lose a leg, you need a prosthetic. When you lose an arm, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then everyone will stare at you, and you'll have a hook, maybe.
Oh, you wish you had a hook.
Right.
That would be great. They don't. What do you think, Aaron?
All right.
I think that I would like to lose a leg because I know that the shark is going to circle back around, and I wouldn't want to be disarmed.
Okay.
That was both a real answer and a pun. Congratulations. It doesn't usually. I'm not just trying to be, along with the gang here, but I have a different reason. I'm going to say leg. I thought about it because I think I need more help from people. It's possible I need more help from people, but I talk with my hands so much. I do. I can't describe it exactly, but it would be like if I were partially mute if you took away my hands. So
okay.
I'm gonna.
God help us all.
And my really only like skill that you could really hang anything on is I'm a very fast typist. So that.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you're gonna say arm.
Well, I say arm just for what the great thing about this question is it's a cause for debate. Me and my host both disagree on it.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it too is we all have different lives. So
yes,
based upon your lifestyle, you would need a leg more or an arm more. Like if you were an artist or like a guitarist,
yeah,
you definitely are going to take leg.
Right.
As a comedian who travels around the country, I'm going to need both my legs.
Yeah.
And as a surfer, one of the greatest surfers of all time, Bethany Hamilton, has one arm.
Right.
She surfs amazing. So I choose arm.
All right, man. I dig it. I
I'm
respect.
feeling bad that I didn't take that more seriously. I'm sorry, man.
Can you pick which arm?
Gary, sharks do circle back. They do.
They're real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. All right, Lachlan.
Blood in the water.
Right. We're so happy you came on air with us today, and we look forward to seeing you at Doe Crow next weekend. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to seeing you and meeting you guys, too, and seeing if your faces look like what I imagine them.
Well, you can go to myfantasywife.com if you want to be disappointed early.
No,
Okay.
I'm going to wait.
Okay, good. You wait. All right, Lachlan, man.
Wise choice.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
All right. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap us up for this week. Thanks to our contributors, Joe Perot and Wills Maxwell. To download all our episodes, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Thank you, Mr. Bishop, for taking us out with the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.